Hi.
Thanks so much for coming to our presentation, and we have 5 of us who are going to give the presentation tonight.
You still only have 15 minutes.
Thank you so much for letting us know, and I think the presentation will not be nearly that long. So we're going to talk about intimate partner violence and domestic violence, and we're going to talk about the problem that we looked at a year ago, and that is the problem of lack of statistical data and research in this area, and our solution, which is an IP tech portal. And then finally, who we are, is a collaboration of CoDesign Studio as well as local organizations, and then our goals and next steps. And so I'm going to ask Risa Mednick to talk a little bit about intimate partner violence, which is usually in the past has been called domestic violence, and as you may know that nowadays it's evolved to talk about intimate partner violence and abuse. Risa is the executive director of Transitionn here in Cambridge, which is the oldest domestic violence shelter. A
quick survey, show of hands. Who here has ever known anyone who's been in an abusive relationship? Okay, the general statistics are 1 in 4 people know someone who has been in an abusive relationship. 1 in 4 women have been abused at some point in their life. 1 in 7 men. By show of hands here, we're off the charts. We are far, far, far more representative of people who have encountered abusive situations, even in the general public. So I think that that's significant. I think that it also speaks to what happens on campuses as well as these problems are moving. Second, I want to make a big thank you. I think that civic change and social change are completely interrelated, and they do not happen without collaboration and without partnerships. As a representative of a community-based organization, literally down the street, I think it's critically important that we work together, both from an academic perspective and from a civic engagement perspective, because we really are pushing the needle on social change here in very, very dramatic ways. Domestic violence, as you all know, and intimate partner violence is not an anomaly of our culture. It's not about anybody's, bringing it on themselves. It's about power and control. And it's an issue that has been swept under the rug for generations and generations, and we now need to bring it out into the open, out into dialogue, out into public discourse, and out into the realm of where technology and social change intersect. And that's exactly where this project starts, and that's where we're going to circle back to, so that we're not just in the realm of technology anymore, but we're bringing it back to real people's lives and the ways in which we can work together to impact social policy as well. I'm going to leave it there and turn it back to my colleagues. Thank you all for taking this time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Risa. Okay, now fabulous project. So, as you said, we looked at a lot of projects just like all of you guys did, and we finally settled on a problem that keeps coming back, which is the lack of data for research. So, we can advance to the next slide. In June 2005, the Governor's Council on Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault published a survey that said exactly the same thing, that basically one of the problems with domestic violence is that it suffers from a lack of actual data and research on the topic. And they published a report listing over 30 data sources, Department of Mental Health, batterer intervention programs, reports where restraining orders are issued, police logs, judicial opinions, and all sorts of records that are collected as mandated by law from around the state, but nothing is done with the data and they're not coordinated. And they issued this study saying that a central clearinghouse of data was desired. And so this project that we worked on today starts to fulfill that requirement that was outlined in this document. And I'm going to ask Jude is going to talk to us a little bit about those data sources.
So this can speak about the data sources implemented, and it's quite a challenge to actually look at all these data sources are actually aggregated in one form that actually makes sense. And so some of the, we had to look at some of the judicial response mechanisms to actually understand how in terms of the legal structure are these domestic violence cases handled. There are logs we had to look at the police laws, which are Cambridge police laws and the MIT police laws. Of course, thanks to very good scraper, he was actually able to scrape a couple of data sources from different and the good thing that we managed to obtain a couple of data sources from different entities and bring them all into one huge data set. And actually, to enable advocates at a glance to make quick comparisons of this kind of data. So we are basically an PVJ, which is a collaboration of Tor, Transitionhouse, MIT Media Lab, and Transitionn. That's, I think I'll let you to come and speak.
Yeah. So here's our partners and project, and the product we made is a research portal for domestic violence. We scrape all the police logs from camera feeds and leave them store them on the database. And we also scraped some portion of the mass harm decisions. So if you are interested in this issue about how the domestic violence developed and how it gets involved in the digital devices, you can enter this research portal. Is that portal open the browser? Yeah, okay. When you search something as a keyword, it will bring up a graph telling you how much this keyword appears in all the police logs, all the court decisions, according to the client, and the percentage of the cases within all the cases in our database. And you can sort by sources and the tags. By tags, I mean you can open each individual courses and tag them with the tags related to your research topic. And so you can have a qualitative and quantitative idea, a picture about the scene, how the domestic violence happens in this field. And you can show that to the, like what Sarah is doing, to show that to the police commissioners and show that to other people to read their awareness. And you can also report your own cases to the system. And we also draw some infographics to explain how the surveillance happens in the domestic violence fields. That is, the surveillance therefore may be hacked or installed some malware that will collect all information about their location and communication record, and the abuser can visit this record from a surveillance site and turn that into action such as threat or domestic violence. And that was an early draft of the graphic. And then the survivor may came to the Transitionhouse or other helping facilities, and the advocates helping them may need some information about this field, and so they can search our system, our database to find relative courses, cases, or the decisions of courts. And here are our goals to list some additional collaborators like law enforcement, because we can show the data now to all the...
Do you want to let Andrew present this part?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, so do you think this is an obvious thing that your law enforcement is collecting all these cases and that it's collated nationally and that people produce statistics on this? Turns out not the case. I've talked to friends in the Department of Justice who said, yeah, we get like summary data reporting, but assault and battery can be anywhere from 2 people in a fist fight in a schoolyard all the way up through domestic violence. We have no subcategories of that. Some counties report abuse, and that can be anywhere from child sexual rape to domestic. And there's no subcategories of that. So no one really knows how bad the problem is. And then I ask questions like, what about technology? And they say, what do you mean? We don't even have anywhere near that data. So how large of a problem this actually is, we don't actually know. And apparently getting it from the police departments and law enforcement is nearly impossible, but they publish it all on the internet. So like as you said, we scrape it and then collate our own data. The next steps are to go, so a lot of people are interested in this. And that, this one simple CoDesign class has been fantastic because it's raised a large issue. And thanks to Jude and Jude, we found a cool, Jude and Jude. Who found a cool solution and built an entire portal and already started scraping and building a database on this. We have Cambridge and Boston, and we have Passport decisions already in the system for some source data. And a number of companies, obviously, who are in the Cambridge area and universities through the Cambridge area, who may be battling over Central Square soon as they expand this way, are very interested in figuring out what they can do with this and what does it mean to scale up to, it's one thing to crawl all the towns in Massachusetts or even just Middlesex County, then how do you do it for the state, then how do you do it for New England, then how do you do it for the US? And other countries are sort of interested in this because they don't collect the stats either, but they all publish the data. The data's all out there, you just have to go crawl and get it. And this is a prototype. I don't know if we have the prototype really. Here we go. So this is a live prototype. We didn't like 209A or something.
Pudding.
So 209A is the restraining order. That's the law that defines a restraining order. How many times does this show up in the data? Yeah. Assuming your server's working? Yes. What's the keyword? 209A. Yep. So this is live data. It works. This is live data that we crawled.
209A is the restraining order statute.
The 209A is restraining order statute. This is how many times the keyword 209A shows up in everything we crawled so far. And you get the graph of how often, frequency, and percent of total police log entries you see there.
So this is amazing, and we're gonna have to close it out. But I just wanted to thank all of you. This project is really, really interesting, and what I like is that you began with a very specific sort of challenge you had for yourselves, which was to try and understand what records existed about the tools that were actually being used by people to surveil the person that they were targeting on the phones. And what you found was that there was this broader need to aggregate and visualize the data sets around intimate partner violence. So really glad to hear that it's successful and that the community partners will be continuing to use it in their work. So thank you.